changing it up a little bit so it's like podcast style, but without the big mic that everyone's doing. I don't know. Do I want to do that? I don't know if I want to do that. I think we want to see my face instead of like big things around my ears and big mics, and I don't know. Anyways, I want to talk to you about something. And once again, I'm going to break this up in a 3-part series video because this is more of a conversation. And I want to know what you think about this. But you know, everyone, from what I'm hearing, you guys are kind of getting tired. There's so many dating coaches. There's so much dating advice. And so I want to kind of go around the problems that we're having. So I want to talk about what are the real problems that we're having and what's a different alternative to work around this. So listen, it's not a hidden secret that dating right now is a bit of a disaster, that even relationships are a bit of a disaster right now. Can't seem to make it work. Less people are getting married. There's lots of divorces. I don't know about you, but it feels like there's a lot of hopelessness in the air. In fact, I'm going to be really honest with you. I just had a girlfriend here before I started filming this, and she was telling me about this couple who had a beautiful life. They were well off, had beautiful children, all of it, and they're going through divorce. And I told her, I hate to say this, I hate to admit to this as a dating and relationship expert, but I said, it kind of makes me even wonder why I do what I do for my work. Like, is it even making a difference? Sometimes I wonder but granted, this is my line of work, so I'm always going to hear the problems of things. I don't always get to hear all the good stuff about it, right? So with that being said, there is an issue. And I think by pretending like there's not an issue doesn't help you. It doesn't help me. So it's like, okay, let's just be honest. I have my own theories about what I think is going on, but regardless, there's a lot of division in the conversation, right? It's like we hear about toxic masculinity, we hear about feminists and gold diggers, and it's very much like us against them. And it's really confusing for everybody right now, which is why I want to break this up into more of a conversation and make this a 3-part series. Plus, it's just easier for me to share content this way. So I hope you guys are into this. But let's just kind of dive into it. Well, one of the things is, I don't know if you've seen this statistic, but I saw this statistic, I'm having a hard time with that word, where it said testosterone is dropped 40% below average of where it used to be, let's say like 40 years ago. There's a drop in testosterone. Now, I'm not a doctor, and chances are you aren't either, but we do know that when men don't have testosterone, they're not as masculine. They don't show up as leaders. They kind of show up more feminine. I mean, I live in Monaco, and I can't tell you how many guys, when I'm walking, I'm trying to make it more of an effort to smile at people because it's a bit antisocial here. But the guys will just like look away really fast. And I was talking to a girlfriend of mine. I'm like, it's just really bizarre. Like, you just don't have men that come up and approach you anymore. Whereas back in the day, that was a thing. But then, because I work with a lot of men, what do you guys say if you're a guy watching this? Well, yeah, of course I'm not going to approach. I'm not going to say anything because what are we going to say? Me too. I don't want to get me too'd. And so there are a lot of men who are like, yeah, I'm terrified to talk to women because I don't want to get shot down and be like, you're catcalling me, you're doing this. And so men are very like kind of timid to talk to women. And you've got this whole testosterone drop. So that's what's going on with the men. Then you got women, right, who are out earning their own money. And so they're becoming financially independent. And now you've got this whole thing going on social media. It's called soft girl era. Have you seen this? Have you seen this whole thing about soft girl era? And it's like women are like, I want to be back more my feminine. I tried to like be Miss Independent and it's exhausting. And it's like, hello. Yeah, of course it's exhausting. Like this BS that we women bought into about like, we don't need men is horseshit. That's why I did my video years ago. It was such a good video. It's called Lover a lover of men. It was a spinoff to a video, an interview I did with Zan Perion, which I need to do another interview with that guy. I love him. But it was like me like crying and saying, I love men. Men, you're needed. But yeah, that's a whole thing that's going on now. It's like women, it was like, I don't need a man for this. I don't need a man for that, which is such bullshit. And that's like a core need in a man. A man needs to know that he's needed, that he has what it takes. And when you have society constantly telling men, you don't have what it takes or we don't need you, man, that kills a man's spirit. It kills him at the core. And so you've had women become really, really masculine, really hyper independent. And now they're realizing, hell, this is a burden. This is hard. I'm tired. I'm exhausted by this whole hyper independence. And so now I want to enter into my soft girl era. Now you even have dating coaches who are helping women become more feminine, which is to be more receptive. And so what am I saying in this? I'm saying there's a lot of division going on. Well, hello, that makes it really difficult for people to find love when there's division. I mean, division and love, those two don't mix. It's like oil and water. And so we've got two polarities that are not healthy polarities. They're toxic polarities of men who are frankly just not being men anymore. They're not going out and pursuing women. They're terrified. And this has been going on for years. I've been doing this for 15 years. And back in the day, I remember guys used to ask me, well, when's the right time to ask for her phone number? When's the right time to kiss her? And it always pissed me off because I would say, when you feel the need to do it, that's when you do it. You don't need a dating coach to come and give you permission on when's a time limit. You do it when you feel that desire, you move forward with it. But now it's like, so you've got men who are just like really timid and not the pursuers. And like, have you gotten your testosterone tested lately? If you're a guy watching this, I would love to know like where your testosterone levels are. And if you guys are interested, if I should bring someone on to talk about testosterone, let me know if that's something that interests you guys. Maybe I'll run a poll about this. So you got that. You got men who are just not being the pursuers. Like if you compared men today and like men of like Braveheart days, like it's just almost non-existent. And so men are becoming more feminine, and then you've got women who are just becoming really masculine. And it's like, I don't need a guy. And now women are having the epiphany of going like, hey, I need to soften up. And you have men having the epiphany going, that's why people love like Andrew Tate and people love, Jordan Peterson, where some people call them really toxic, but men are inspired. Okay, if they're so toxic, then why are millions of people following these guys? It's because they're initiating men back into being masculine men, right?